The early March dawn broke over the Redstone Plains with a relentless, crystalline frost, the 200-acre Texas ranch stirring awake beneath a vast sky streaked with pale silvers, fiery oranges, and fleeting threads of gold that glowed at the horizon like a molten dawn. The lake a shimmering expanse of liquid ice reflecting the first light, its surface quivering under a frigid breeze that sliced through the frost-crusted grasses, carrying the sharp scent of frozen pine, damp clay, the musky tang of cattle huddled in their pens, and a faint curl of wood smoke from the ranch house's hearth. Wildflowers, locked in sparse, defiant patches of yellow and purple along the water's edge, their petals encased in glittering ice, trembled against a cold that gripped their brittle stems. Ancient oaks stood as unyielding sentinels, their gnarled branches swaying in a slow, mournful dance, casting jagged shadows across the frost-glazed earth, their bark etched with the scars of countless winters. But at the heart of the ranch, beneath the redstone oak where the plains converged in a gentle rise, John Parker, a rugged 54-year-old cowboy in a weathered Stetson, stood rooted, his boots crunching the frost with a brittle snap. As a cataclysmic pulse tore through the silence, a quantum horizon abyss reactor, its towering, obsidian frame erupting from the soil like a malignant scar, its apex flaring with a corrosive pearl glow as it sought to obliterate the verdant Nexus's radiant core, a blazing fusion of sapphire, amethyst, topaz, emerald, ruby, amber, and nascent opal light surging beneath the oak, linking the northwest, northeast, southeast, western, southwest, northeastern, southeastern, and southwestern nodes in a pulsating web that thrummed with raw, eternal power. Victor Drake descended from a black armored helicopter landing on the rise, its blades slashing the air with a relentless roar, his tailored suit a stark silhouette against the wild terrain, his voice booming over the reactor's pulse with cold, apocalyptic fury. The Nexus is mine. Parker, Redstone's legacy ends now. John drew his revolver with a swift, practiced motion, the cold steel steady in his calloused hand, firing a shot that sparked off the reactor's casing with a sharp clang, the sound reverberating across the plains like a thunderclap, his growl cutting through the icy air. You're on my land. Drake, rip that reactor out, or I'll bury you with its ashes. Sarah Bennett raced from the barn, her breath fogging in the freezing air, her boots skidding on frosted gravel, rifle cocked and raised, her shout piercing the chaos. They're obliterating the Nexus. Frank Hensley charged down from the ridge, his bulk heaving under a heavy coat, shotgun gripped tight, his voice a thunderous bellow. Quantum's betting everything. The air crackled with defiance, desperation, and the raw edge of survival, a swarm of quantum drones buzzing low, their sleek black shells glinting like polished obsidian, pearl lasers slashing through the frost with surgical precision, searing the ground into steaming scars. The lake's frosted glow dimmed beneath a roiling cloud of dust, frost, and unrelenting menace, the wildflowers trembling, their roots deep in the Texas soil. The past days had been a relentless crucible after the Nexus's ascendant stand, Redstone's gates fortified with steel, chain, and unyielding resolve. The sign, Redstone endures, permission only, a resolute marker of John's unbreakable will. The co-op's railway hummed with shipments of winter barley, pecans, wheat, kale, oats, rye, sorghum, millet, quinoa, amaranth, and early buckwheat, their steel tracks glinting under a pale March sun. Clara May's silo gleamed with fresh paint, its silhouette a symbol of rebirth against the frost-dusted horizon. Steve and the Enclave patrol tracked their way with quiet vigilance, their lanterns swaying like fireflies along the gravel path, casting pools of warm light on the icy ground. Tessa and Ethan rigged tin can alarms with fierce determination, their small hands tugging at twine, their chatter a defiant spark in the bitter cold. Dakota prowled the trails with ears pricked, his heeled legs strong, his low growls a warning to any shadow that lingered. Michelle knitted scarves by the hearth, the soft click of needles blending with the fire's crackle, a fleeting comfort against the storm. But the verdant Nexus's eternal power burned in John's gut like a relentless blaze. Lena Carter's ledger, its pages brittle, ink faded but urgent, mapping the node's convergence into a nexus, with the western, southwest, northeastern, southeastern, and southwestern nodes confirmed by Dr. Elanina Chen's detectors spiking during a midnight sweep. The Nexus is eternal. It's rewriting the plains, Chen warned, Her glasses fogging as she recalibrated the device under lantern light, Lena adding, "Quantum's out of moves. They'll destroy everything to stop it." John's eyes narrowed, his jaw tightening as he leaned against the barn's weathered wall. "They'll throw hell itself, new tech, old grudges." Sarah beside him, her rifle slung over her shoulder, nodded grimly. "Drake's got Vance, Eli's the key." That dawn, riding out to the oak after Jess's tip of a quantum escalation, the frost stinging his face, the cold biting at his knuckles through his gloves. He caught the reactor's pulse rising like a beast's roar, a storm shattering the fragile peace he'd clawed back, the wildflowers enduring, their roots deep in the Texas soil. The confrontation erupted into a chaotic, apocalyptic maelstrom, the drones descending in a merciless swarm, their sleek shells glinting like polished obsidian in the pale light. Pearl lasers searing the ground with ruthless precision, frost melting into blackened, steaming scars that smoked in the cold. John dodged a beam that grazed his coat, the heat singeing the leather. Rolling behind a frost-covered boulder with a grunt, his heart pounding, his revolver barking as he fired, the shot cracking a drone's hull with a satisfying crunch, sending it spiraling into the frost in a plume of dust and sparks. Sarah shouted over the deafening din, "Protect the Nexus. It's their last shot," her rifle spitting fire. Its report echoing off the rise, another drone tumbling, its wreckage crunching against the frozen ground. Frank's shotgun roared like a thunderclap, a third drone exploding midair. Shrapnel raining down like jagged hail. Matt and Tom flanked from the ridge, their boots slipping on the icy incline, rifles blazing in a relentless cacophony of defiance. "Hold him off. Keep him from the oak." Victor remained unfazed, barking orders from the rise with a cold, predatory sneer, his operatives fanning out in tactical precision. Their black gear stark against the frost-dusted plains. A disruptor thudded into the dirt near the oak, its sleek casing humming with a high-pitched wail that fractured the Nexus's light into jagged, flickering shards. Lena sprinted from the barn, her breath fogging, her boots slipping on loose gravel, the verdant tablet clutched tight, its symbols glowing with eerie intensity. "They'll obliterate the web. Stop it now," her voice raw with panic. John aligned the regulation key, its etched runes flaring with a burst of radiant light. A shockwave rippling outward through the frost, the disruptor shorting with a sharp crackle and a puff of acrid smoke. But Victor's laugh echoed, chilling and triumphant, "You're finished." "Parker, the planes are ours." The reactor's pearl glow intensifying, the Nexus's light wavering like a heart in distress. Hank's co-op truck roared up, gravel spraying. "We're here. Quantum's all in." Matt shouted, "They've got Mechs north." Tom fired, "We're pinned." The wildflowers trembling, their roots deep in the Texas soil. Midday brought a co-op council at Clara May's ranch. The air thick with tension, the bitter tang of burnt coffee mingling with the bite of frost, the porch creaking under 90 farmers. Hank paced, "Nexus is ours, Quantum's desperate, Clara May firm. Parker's our rock." Lila, now Quantum's pawn, snarled, "He's death $500, 000 to ditch him." Roy countered, "They'll gut us," Jed added. "My kids starve if we fold," Mary shouted. "Drones hit my barn." Cal grumbled, "Pump's gone." John stood steady. "Unity's our blade." Sarah showed Vance's tablet, Drake's orders to sabotage. Shin warned, "Nexus is spawning new nodes. It could redefine everything." Lila bolted, "I'm done." Hank roared, "She's poison." Jess vowed, "I'm solid." The vote teetered, the wildflowers enduring, their roots deep in the Texas soil. Afternoon saw Lila's trap, Vance at the north field. Drake wants the co-op crushed. John intercepted, "Lila, you're finished." Lila sneered, "You're dust." Eli emerged, blade glinting. "John, stop." John pleaded, "Break free. Eli, we're brothers." Eli faltered, eyes tormented. "Drake's got me chained," then fled, his duster flapping. Sarah noted, "He's cracking." Jess proved loyalty. Vance meets at dusk, Westridge. The wildflowers trembled, their roots deep in the Texas soil. Dusk unleashed Quantum's counterstrike, a convoy hitting the southwest, drones torching a granary. Flames roaring skyward. John and the Ridge Riders raced over, Dakota snarling, Michelle with Tessa and Ethan signaling, red flares. John doused the blaze with a hose, water hissing, steam rising. Frank tackled an operative Eli again, his blade flashing. "Drake's dog." Frank growled. Eli, pinned, whispered, "It's bigger than you know," then broke free, vanishing into the dark. The southwestern node pulsed stronger, Chin shouting, "The Nexus is fighting back." The wildflowers endured, their roots deep in the Texas soil. Night brought a reckoning, Jess leading John to Vance's meet at the West Ridge, a trap foiled when Hank's patrol flanked the operatives, their rifles glinting. Vance fled, cursing, "Drake Lindio." John nodded to Jess, "You're Redstone now." The co-op tightened, Mary baking cornbread for patrols, fuel for the fight, the wildflowers trembling, their roots deep in the Texas soil. Dawn rallied the co-op at Roy's barn, Hank vowing, "Lila's gone. We're forged in steel." Clara May assigned patrols, no gaps. Roy, cane tapping, growled, "No surrender." John fortified the Nexus with Chin's amplifiers, their hum steady, the reactor's pearl glow fading as the Nexus flared brighter. Shipments rolled out under a tense sky. Steve's enclave guarding the trails, ain't breaking Parker. Quantum's drones retreated, their hum a distant whine, the wildflowers enduring, their roots deep in the Texas soil. Mid-morning revealed a new pulse, Chin's detectors spiking near the northwest. The Nexus is birthing another node. Lena poring over the ledger, "It's alive," John, guiding us. Sarah scouted the northwest, finding faint opal glimmers. "It's small, but strong." The plains whispered of eternal power, the wildflowers trembling, their roots deep in the Texas soil. John gathered the family at dusk by the redstone oak, the Nexus a radiant glow beneath, bourbon warming his hand, the frost crunching underfoot. Sarah sat beside him. "Eli's slipping, Drake's losing him." Lena added, "The Nexus is more, maybe it's choosing us." Frank joined, "Southwest locked, next fight's ours." Michelle, with Tessa and Ethan, smiled. "They're tougher than the frost." John nodded, his voice steady, "Redstone holds, always will." The stars pierced the cold sky, the plains roaring defiance, the wildflowers trembling. Their roots deep in the Texas soil.